This video is to show how to set up the operation and troubleshoot methods for the RAD1 detector. This detector has a dip switch mounted on the front panel of the unit, so you can set up operational parameters including frequency, sensitivity, and much more. It has a single loop with a programmable dual relay output. Let's get started on setting up the detector. With the unit plugged into the 10-pin connector and it powered up, the power LED should be green and the red detect LED should be off. The sensitivity should be set to the medium-low setting, which is dip switch 1, which should be on the on position, and dip switch 2 should be on the off position. This is the setting that we set at the factory. The first two dip switches give you capability to adjust the sensitivity higher or lower, so you can better detect vehicles in the loop detection zone. On the side of the detector, it will show you how to set the sensitivity levels. There are 4 settings for the frequency: high, medium, low, and low. To adjust the frequency, use switches 5 and 6 on the 6 position dip switch on the front of the detector. What you want to do is, if you have multiple detectors, you want to make sure that each detector is set for a different frequency. If you don't do this, you could get crosstalk between the detectors. Now the detector is ready to detect vehicles. Let's show you how the detector operates. When a car is placed over the loop and the RAD1 detector detect light should illuminate red. This is to let you know that there is a vehicle over the loop. At this point, the unit will activate Output A relay. This relay will stay activated until the vehicle leaves the loop detection zone. The RAD1 has a second relay. To change output relay B to operate in different modes, there are 2 dip switches on the front panel of the detector. They are 3 and 4, labeled mode. There are 4 modes that the output relay B can do: pulse on entry, output relay B mimic output relay A, pulse on exit, or output relay B not to activate. With both the dip switches set to off, the output relay B will not activate. With dip switch 3 off and 4 on, the output relay B provides a pulse when a vehicle exits the loop zone. With both the dip switches set to on, the output relay B provides a pulse when a vehicle enters the loop zone. The last mode is having output relay B activate the same way as output relay A. To set the detector for this mode, turn off dip switch 4 and turn on dip switch 3. Now let's talk about if you have a loop fault indication or issues with the detector. With no power LED, this is telling you that you have a power issue and you should check the input voltage to the unit. To check the voltage, you will need a voltmeter. Look on the side of the detector unit and see what the voltage should be, knowing that you should set your meter to measure that voltage. For example, if it is a 24 to 48 volt AC unit, you should set your meter to the AC reading. If it's 24 to 48 volt DC, you should set it to the DC reading. Once you set the meter, take one of the 2 probes and input it into pin 1 of the socket, and the other put into pin 2 of the socket. Make sure that the meter is reading the correct voltage for the detector you're using. If the power is reading what you need, there may be an issue with the unit. If the power is wrong, you need to take care of the power supply before the unit will work. The RAD1 detector continuously checks the integrity of the loop. The system is able to detect a shorted or open circuit loop, or sudden changes in inductance exceeding 25% of the nominal inductance. So, for example, if your detect LED is on and power LED is blinking once a second, this is an indication that you have an open loop or circuit. To troubleshoot this issue, look to make sure that the loop is connected. Most of the time, it is a loose wire connection or the lead-in wire has been cut. If you cannot find a cut, then you will need to test the loop. If your detect LED is on and power LED is blinking twice a second, this is an indication that you have a shorted loop. Once again, check the wire connection or the lead-in wire for a short. If you cannot find a short, then you will need to test the loop. If your detect LED is on and power LED is blinking 3 times a second, this is an indication that you have a 25% excessive change in inductance. Once again, check the wire connection or the lead-in wire for any issues. If you cannot find an issue, then you will need to test the loop. Pressing the reset button will reset the detector and clear the flash sequence from the power and loop fault indicator. If this does not clear the flash sequence, you still have an issue. The RAD1 has a self-heal condition. So, if the fault goes away, the unit will return to normal operation. This is the basic operation for the RAD1 detector.